Hello future MDs! In this video, we're going to study biology. So itong bio lecture review na to is divided into 4 parts and punong-puno siya ng concepts. So I hope na makatulong to talaga sa review nyo. I'll just put the links to the other parts sa description below. If you find this video helpful, please consider subscribing to this channel. By the way, our lecturer here is Miss April Ballesteros. She graduated Bachelor of Science in Biology in UP Baguio and currently an incoming third-year medical student at Cagayan State University College of Medicine. Super thankful ako sa kanya kasi pumayag siya na i-record ko yung lecture niya and i-upload sa YouTube. I hope that this will also help you sa pagre-review niyo for NMAT. That's all. Let's proceed.
Alright, so punta naman tayo sa cellular respiration. Cellular respiration is a set of metabolic reactions and processes that take place in the cells of organisms to convert biochemical energy from nutrients into ATP and then release waste products. So pwede siyang, there are two metabolic pathways. Pwede siyang anabolic or catabolic. Pag sinabing catabolic, it is destructive. Kata, parang hinahati-hati. So large molecules are broken down into small ones. Hence, energy is released. Pag sinabi namang anabolic, it is constructive. Small molecules are assembled into large ones. So dito, para mabuo or para ma-merge natin yung mga small molecules na yun, it requires energy. So ito yung mga reactions. It's just a summary. So yung cellular respiration natin, pwede siyang anaerobic or aerobic. Pag sinabing anaerobic, it is the absence of oxygen which results in 2 ATP molecule of glucose. Example, lactic acid fermentation and alcoholic fermentation. Example dito is pag nag-exercise tayo, di ba? Kapag extreme exercise na, nagamit na yung oxygen, magkakaroon na ngayon ng anaerobic respiration. And ang end product nito is lactic acid. Kaya nagkakaroon ng muscle pain, it is because of the accumulation of the lactic acid. Glycolysis, it is a breakdown of sugar, anaerobic catabolism of glucose to pyruvic acid, which occurs in the cytoplasm. So cytoplasm nangyayari ang glycolysis. And ang product nito is 2 ATP per glucose molecule and 2 NADPH per glucose molecule. So we also have fermentation. This is a glycolysis and reduction of pyruvate producing ethanol or lactic acid and NAD+. So sa aerobic respiration naman, it is the presence of oxygen which results in a net 36 ATP per molecule of glucose. So sa aerobic respiration, pwede din dito yung glycolysis. The glucose is broken down into pyruvate, producing 2 ATP per glucose molecule. And then Krebs cycle, followed by the Krebs cycle, or the completion of glucose breakdown. The acetyl-CoA na nanggaling dun sa pyruvate, dun sa glycolysis, runs a cycle of reaction, regenerating at the end of each cycle, and all of the electrons are passed to NADH and FADH. Itong NADH and FADH natin, these are electron carriers. And ang product dito ay 2 ATP. And then we have the oxidative phosphorylation that produces 32 ATP. So basically, ang napoproduce natin dito na total ATP formed from the glycolysis, Krebs cycle, and the electron transport chain is 36 to 38 ATPs. So we've mentioned earlier that ions cannot easily pass through the plasma membrane, so they need the channel proteins. So for this, we have the sodium-potassium pump. This pump is very essential in the plasma membrane because it keeps the cell's resting potential by pumping out sodium ions and pumping in potassium ions with the help of ATP. So since may ATP na involved, it is a type of active transport. Ang mnemonic ko dito is PISO, potassium in, sodium out. So ilan ba yung pumapasok na potassium? May dalawa. Ang lumalabas naman na sodium ay tatlo. Let's proceed with the enzymes. Enzymes, these are globular proteins which acts as catalyst that speeds up chemical reaction. So ano bang ginagawa ng enzyme? It lowers the energy of activation and increases the rate of reaction. They are not consumed or altered by the reaction and does not alter the equilibrium. So they can either inhibit or activate the reaction. So there are three types of enzyme inhibitors. We have competitive inhibitors, which compete with the substrate by binding to the active site. Non-competitive inhibitors bind to enzyme in area other than the active site. So yun yung difference nila sa competitive. Kapag competitive, automatic siya nasa active site magbabind. Allosteric inhibitors naman, they bind to enzyme and change enzyme configuration. So nagkakaroon ng change in configuration. Etong graph na to, lumabas siya sa exam before, pero sa part siya ng chemistry. I-share ko na lang din sa'yo kasi maganda kasi yung mnemonic dito ng prof namin. So we have here a graph of the different types of inhibitors, enzyme inhibitors. So yung Vmax natin, yun yung saturation ng substrate natin. Kasi syempre, di ba, mauubos nga yung substrate. Yung Km naman natin, it is the amount of enzyme used. So we have here, ikukwento ko siya. So para siyang kwento. Example lang to. So normal enzyme, kunwari isipin natin, we have here a guy, sabihin na lang natin ng pangalan niya ay Gerald, na may gusto siya kay Bea. Since gusto niya si Bea, gusto niyang ayain si Bea for a Valentine's date. So yun yung Vmax niya. So, yun yung goal niya. Ayain si Bea out for a Valentine's date. So, siguro inaaya niya mag-coffee si Bea, ganon, para eventually pumayag si Bea to go out with him. Ngayon naman, dumating naman ngayon si Dominic. Ito yung sa red, the competitive inhibitor. Ngayon, si Dominic, gusto din niya ayain si Bea for a Valentine's date. So, yun din yung goal niya, Vmax. So, pareho sila ni Gerald. Kaso, yun nga, mas competitive si Gerald. So, ang doble yung effort niya. Doble yung effort niya kay Gerald. So, palagi niyang sinusundo si Bea, mas nag-effort siya. So, ngayon, mas papalapit siya dun sa goal niya na Valentine's Day. Ang mangyayari, itong Km, this is the amount of substrate used, diba? So, ang mangyayari kasi dito, yung Km, ito yung correlate moments. So, ang mangyayari kay Gerald, tataas yung correlate moments niya. Kasi, parang nauungusan na siya ni Gerald. Ngayon naman, meron naman itong blue line na to. Ito naman si Enchong. He is a friend of Bea. He is a non-competitive inhibitor. Kasi wala naman siyang aim or goal na ayain si Bea for Valentine's. So yung correlate moments niya, pareho pa din. Kasi hindi naman siya mag-effort. Hindi naman niya kailangan mag-effort. So, ganun yun. i-compare natin yung Vmax tsaka Km nila. Yung competitive inhibitor, si Dominic, same sila ng Vmax ni Gerald or nung goal Valentine's Day. Pero magkaiba sila ng Km. Kumbaga, mas madaming colelat moments si Gerald. Si Dominic, mas konti yung colelat moments niya. Si Enchong naman, ngayon, pareho sila ng colelat moments ni Gerald kasi hindi naman sila masyadong nag-e-effort. Pero magkaiba sila ng Vmax kasi hindi naman goal ni Enchong na ayain si Bea for Valentine's Day. Kaya magkaiba sila ng Vmax ni Gerald, which is the normal enzyme. So yun, sana makatulong yun, yung kwentong yun. Okay, so now let us proceed with photosynthesis. So photosynthesis, it is the process by which plants generate their food. So we have here an image for or the difference between autotrophs and heterotrophs. Autotrophs, they can make their own food. Kabilang dito sa group na to ay yung mga plants because they have chloroplast, which is the site of photosynthesis. Heterotrophs naman, yung mga nagko-consume ng food made by autotrophs. Ito yung mga animals or humans. So, photosynthesis. Basic lang yung reaction, kung paano yung reaction ng photosynthesis. So, yung carbon dioxide from the atmosphere will be added with the water or the reactants. The water are absorbed by the roots. Okay, and then it will be acted upon by the light and it will produce glucose, water, and oxygen. So, ito yung byproducts niya. Ito yung oxygen, yun yung nire-release ng plants sa atmosphere. Carbon dioxide, yung kinukuha niya sa atmosphere. So, yung site ng photosynthesis, nangyayari to lahat sa chlorophyll. This is just image for the differences between the light-dependent reactions and the Calvin cycle. Sa light-dependent reaction, it synthesizes ATP and NADPH to serve as a fuel for the Calvin cycle. So, ito yung end product ng light-dependent reaction na gagamitin naman dun sa Calvin cycle. Sa Calvin cycle naman, it uses carbon dioxide, converting it to rubisco and making glucose out of it. So, ang product dito ay glucose or yung energy. Another difference is that light-dependent reaction occurs in the thylakoids, while the Calvin cycle occurs in the stroma of the chloroplast. We have here the different plant hormones. Plant hormones are stimulatory or they promote effects. Example ng stimulatory ay auxins, gibberellins, and cytokinin. They can also be inhibitory or suppresses or restrains an effect. Example nito ay abscisic acid, and ethylene gas. Let us first discuss ethylene. This is a natural plant hormone which is used to ripen fruits. Ito yung nilalagay nila para mas mapabilis yung ripening ng mga, for example, banana. Isa pang function niya, it opposes auxin effects. It also promotes or inhibits root growth and flower development and leaf formation. Next, cytokinins. Ang source nito ay primarily sa roots and are transported to other organs. They promote cell division in plant roots and in shoots. Auxin, we have they have role in coordination of growth and behavioral processes in plant life cycle. Gibberellins, it regulates growth and development processes including stem elongation, germination, dormancy, flowering, sex expression, enzyme induction. Ang auxin, cytokinin, and ethylene or yung ACE, auxin, cytokinins, and ethylene, they are responsible for growth of lateral buds. Ito pa, nasa NMAT Reviewer to. What happens to a plant that was applied with lanolin paste? So the lanolin paste will cause the plant to bend toward the side without paste. So ito naman yung mga different responses of plants to different stimulus or environment. We have thigmotropism. The plant moves or grows in response to touch or stimuli contact. Ayan. Example dito are yung vines. Nag-a-attach sila dun sa, kunwari may pole, dun sila mag-a-attach. Thermotropism naman, thermo, from the prefix thermo, temperature, the plant moves in response to change in temperature. Parang itong plant na to, or yung mga palmera, for the hot temperature, very healthy. Pero pag cold temperature, nag-wither yung leaves nila. Hydrotropism, the growth or turning of plant roots toward or away from moisture. Ito, we have here on the left, dry soil, and on the right, we have moist soil. So yung roots grow toward the water. Yun yung hydrotropism. Geotropism, geogravity. So the growth movement by plant in response to gravity. So we have positive geotropism and negative geotropism. Positive, ibig sabihin papunta siya sa gravity. So paano ba yung pull ng gravity? Pababa. So pababa siya. Negative geotropism, pataas siya, or opposite the direction of gravity. Phototropism, photo, light, growth of organisms or plants in response to light. Parang ito, kung nasan yung light, dun siya magfe-face, yung plant natin.
So, phototropism is a growth of organisms in response to light. Ang difference na sa heliotropism, ang heliotropism kasi, it is just a seasonal motion of plant parts. It doesn't involve the whole plant in response to the direction of the sun. Ang example dito is hibiscus. So, yung flower niya, ng sunflower, it will follow the direction of the sun. How to test if photosynthesis is taking place? It is done by putting iodine solution in the plant. So let's proceed with photoperiodism. Photoperiodism is the ability of the plants and animals to measure environmental day length or photoperiod, typically by monitoring the night length. So meron tayong tinatawag na short day plants or the long night plants and long day plants or the short night plants. Short day plants, it flowers when day lengths are less than the critical photoperiod. If this amount of darkness is interrupted by a flash of light, katulad dito, no matter how short it is, the short day plant will not flower. So, what are the effects of red light to the short day plants and long day plants? The red light can interrupt the nighttime portion of the photoperiod. So, the red light. Kaya pag sa short day plant, kapag na-interrupt, nagkaroon ng red light, hindi siya magkakos ng flowering. A flash of red light followed by a flash of far red light does not interrupt night length. Katulad dito, kahit nagkaroon ng flash or ng red light, pero after ng red light, nagkaroon naman ng flash of red light, magkakos pa rin ng flowering sa short day plants. The action spectra and reversibility experiments show that phytochrome is the pigment that detects the red light. So some plants flower after only a single exposure to the required photoperiod, while other plants need several successive days of the required photoperiod.
Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe on this channel and like this video if this has helped you. Thank you.